Hello, my name is Abby Sinclair, and this is my leadership presentation for Management 2010. So what exactly is leadership? Leadership is the ability to influence employees to voluntarily pursue organizational goals. So it is actually different from management. Typical leaders inspire others and provide emotional support. They encourage workers to join together to support a common goal, whereas managers implement visions and plans by planning, investigating, organizing, and controlling. However, it is possible to be both a manager and a leader, and that would be considered managerial leadership. And managerial leadership is defined as the process of influencing others to understand and agree about what needs to be done, and the process of facilitating individual and collective efforts to accomplish shared objectives. For example, the leader I chose that represents managerial leadership is Tim Cook. So Tim Cook is the current CEO of Apple. He was previously the COO of Apple, and I selected him because Apple is one of the most successful companies in the world, and I was curious to see who was behind it all and how it maintains this success. So he's considered a top manager, and the book defines a top manager as someone who makes long-term decisions about the overall direction of an organization and establishes objectives, policies, and strategies for it. He began working in Apple in 1998 and then became the COO, and it's now the CEO, so he worked his way up from the bottom, basically. And I feel like he was an effective leader because of his strong work ethic, dedication, and ability to remain humble. Some fun facts about him are that he serves on the board of directors for Nike. He worked at IBM for 12 years, and he wakes up before 4 o'clock every morning to do a daily routine, such as working out and getting Starbucks. And he was actually recruited by Steve Jobs to join the Apple company. So about Apple. It was originally founded by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. The two of them wanted to make computers available in homes and offices, so they created this for-profit organization. And a for-profit organization is one that was created to make money by offering products or services. And in this case, it would be the computer that they were wanting to make. So Apple is actually one of the top tech companies in the world, and it was named after Steve Jobs' love for the fruit. There's no actual hidden meaning behind why it is an apple as the symbol. It's just because he loved fruit. And Apple actually employs over 137,000 people, and its total market value currently is $1.16 trillion. So some of Cook's traits and skills that have made him the manager and leader he is today would be the big 5 personality dimensions. And these include extroversion, which is being sociable and outgoing. There's agreeableness, which is trustworthiness, conscientiousness, which makes him dependable, emotional stability, which means he's secure and stable, and then openness to experience, which means he is broad-minded and willing to try new things. He also exemplifies skills which are required for leaders. These would be cognitive abilities to identify problems, interpersonal skills, which influence, and business skills to maximize organizational assets, as well as conceptual skills to draft a mission and implement plans. So he demonstrates these traits and skills by being outgoing, emphasizing trust and collaboration, especially in the company, and having an open mind to new products. He is also committed to his work, but does not sacrifice his own time. So like I said before, he gets up before 4 a.m. every morning and works out and gets coffee, but is the first one in the office. He really stresses the freedom of thought and action, both within and outside the industry. And of course, he has to be adaptable to handle constant changes in the technology market. So some approaches and tactics that he uses: he is a positive task-oriented leader, which means he uses a task-oriented behavioral approach, which ensures that people, equipment, and other resources are used in an efficient way to accomplish the mission of a group or organization. He uses the efficiency to accomplish these goals, and he leads with a transactional leadership. And transactional leadership focuses on clarifying employees' roles and task requirements and providing rewards and punishments based on performance. He does this by clarifying the tasks of each employee and worker of Apple, and he also provides rewards and punishments, such as the benefits for Apple if they stay a top tech company, and potential employee bonuses. He also uses influence tactics, which are conscious efforts to affect and change behaviors in others. His two top ones would probably be consultation, which is getting others to participate in planning, decision-making, and changes. And the other one would be inspirational appeals, which is trying to build enthusiasm by appealing to others' emotions, ideals, or values. So with consultation, he actually asks employees questions about the company in order to make sure they are keeping up with their tasks and their responsibilities. And he also seeks ideas from others to contribute to the planning and any changes that go into the company. For inspirational appeals, he really does value his employees. Like, for example, he gets lunch with them and interacts with them. And this, in turn, builds their enthusiasm and encourages support and teamwork between the employees. And it helps make a more efficient and effective company. So where has Cook's managerial leadership come into play? Both management and leadership play a huge role in a large company such as Apple. So let's look at some instances where his leadership has come into play. So first, we see this when he is taking over the company. Yes, he did join in 1998, and he became the COO in 2007. However, in 2011, Steve Jobs died, and Cook actually became the CEO of Apple. When he came into the job, Apple was actually struggling. So to rebound from that, Cook had to manage for competitive advantage. And competitive advantage is defined as the ability of an organization to produce goods or services more effectively than competitors do, thereby outperforming them. And so in order to do this, Cook had to be responsive to customers, innovative, produce high-quality products, and be efficient. So he demonstrated strong, effective leadership to keep Apple at the top. And as a result, Apple stocks began to soar. And he was able to cope with this change in the company. He has also handled conflict very well. So in 2012, Apple released its new mapping app called Apple Maps, as well as the new software iOS 6. However, this new mapping app was unreliable, inaccurate, and did a poor job navigating. Therefore, the customers had a lot of backlash and were very upset about the app. So as a result, Cook made a public statement apologizing for the issues within the app and also promised to make improvements. In addition, he directed customers to other apps while they were fixing the Apple Maps. And these included Waze app and MapQuest. He also ended up firing the man that did not take responsibility for his actions of the poor Apple Maps, because this man had refused to sign the apology statement. So Cook ended up firing him from the company. All right, so the 4 functions of management are planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. And Tim Cook does a great job of doing all 4 of these. So for planning, it's setting goals and ways to achieve them. And this is carried out previously he carried these out by the plans set by Jobs when he first joined the company, but now he is making his own plans, such as manufacturing and shipping. He wants to improve both these processes and move inventory quicker, and improving outsourcing practices as well, such as expanding the industry into China. Then he also has weekly telephone meetings every Sunday to discuss upcoming plans for the week. And Cook uses organizing to arrange tasks, people, and resources to accomplish work. So Apple has a variety of departments. They each have a vice president or officer in charge of each department, and Cook relays the tasks to each of these officers, and then they relay the tasks to the employees. As a leader, Cook is motivating, directing, and influencing others to work hard and achieve goals. So he really stresses teamwork, unlike Steve Jobs did really in the beginning of the company. He is a lot more calmer and more approachable, which encourages this interaction with his workers. And he interacts with them already by, again, getting lunch and questioning them to motivate them to work effectively. And Cook uses controlling to monitor performance, compare it with their goals, and take corrective action. So, for example, Cook monitored the Apple Watch, Siri, and AirPods when they came out, just to see how well they did in the market and to see if any changes were needed if they were not doing as well as expected. This ensures that products are released on time, and so that is why Tim Cook really enforces all 4 functions of management. So in my own life, I do have some personal leadership styles that I believe work for me best. So I follow the PATH goal leadership model, and some subcategories of this would be the PATH goal clarifying, work facilitation, supportive, and group-oriented decision-making. So for PATH goal clarifying, I feel like I use this a lot by really looking at the directions and rubrics for group of projects, laying them out to make sure I do everything need be. And then work facilitation, I like to plan, schedule, organize, and coordinate the work. So I try and help divide work between group members equally, which is where the supportive portion comes in. I like to treat everyone equal and make sure we all have the same amount of work, so nobody is doing more or less than the other, which helps me to be friendly and approachable. I go about that. And with group-oriented decision-making, I like to gather suggestions from everyone and encourage group members to participate and really work together to come out with the best outcome for our project. So far, these leadership styles have really worked for me, and I hope to continue doing them in the future and keep up the good work. So here's my works cited, and I'd like to thank you for watching.